Welcome, yogis. My name is Kat, and this is a brief but effective stretching routine for either before your run or after your run. If you'd like, you could grab a blanket and a strap to assist you in some of the postures, but those are totally optional if you don't have anything. So we're going to start with moving the body a little bit. So if you're just getting back from a run, you can maybe skip the warm-up or go ahead and join on for some mobility work. So we're just going to start by moving through the hips. So with some dynamic hip opening, lifting the knee up and out. A couple more, maybe feel a couple pops here and there. And then let's take it the other way, so moving the knee in, so go out and then back down. Out, draw it in and down. Give me a couple more. Good, now taking the feet out, bending the knees, so toes point forward, heels are slightly turned out. Just moving side to side into the knees and into the inner leg. So if you're not in the habit of doing any kind of movement before you run, it's not a bad idea to start adding that. I know sometimes it's easier just to put on the shoes and go without thinking about it too much. And static stretching, not recommended. But getting a little movement into the body, and especially some glute activation, which we'll do shortly. But here, let's just lift the arms up overhead and move it to the torso. Side bends. So you do use your core quite a bit, and it can get stiff, sore, especially after a lot of miles. Good. And then taking it into some loose twists, rotating through the spine. Especially all of our movement in running is typically forward and straight, so you don't turn this direction. You don't want those muscles to atrophy. You also want to remind yourself to recruit as much of your core as you can to help drive you and add some speed if you're working towards that. All right, excellent. Now feet come closer together. We're just going to warm up the ankles and the calves. So coming up onto the toes and back to the heels. Onto the toes, back to the heels. And if you are itching to run, you want to take it into a little bit of a bounce. That'll really get the blood flowing. If you're cooling down, maybe just some gentle calf raises. All right, nice, last one. All right, now we're going to take it down to our backs. Coming down any way you like, it's most comfortable and safe for you. Laying all the way down. Like I mentioned, that glute activation. So you're going to set up for a bridge. Heels are firmly planted and you lift the hips up. And to really activate individually each side, just lift up one leg and start to dip without letting the hips or the glutes touch the ground. Dip and lift. We're going for 20. When you get there, squeeze and release. This top knee might be bent if that's more comfortable. Take some strain off the hip flexor. I think we got 10 more. Don't get mad about my counting. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, squeeze, 8, 9, 10, and release that side. Good, now if you just got back from a run, I know that's going to be extra hard. But you really want to strengthen and encourage the posterior chain to work for you, not against you, not overdeveloping hip flexors and quads. Nothing wrong with having strong quads, doing squats. Let's go the other side. But if there's an imbalance, you'll probably start to notice some pain in the knees, maybe in the hips as well. I'll try to pay attention to the counting. Here's 5, 6, all the way up, 7, 8, 9, 10, halfway, squeeze, 11, 12, 13, 14, push into the heel, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Very good. Good, let it rest. Good, hugging the knees into your chest, just massage your low back. Or sit down into your mat or the floor. And then rock and roll. We're gonna come into a squat, a low squat. So coming up, feet are wide enough to allow yourself to come down. Now you want to use the wall or sit on a block if you have like a yoga block. Make this a little more comfortable because we're going to be here for a minute, starting now. Chance to tune in with your hips, your ankles, focusing on your breath and deep diaphragmatic breathing. Make your lungs as efficient as possible, as effective as possible. About halfway there. If you feel like you have more room, you can push elbows into the knees. You have extra room, push the fists together and even press wider. Take a couple breaths. And slowly releasing. You're going to straighten legs, bring your feet to parallel and hang over the legs very loose in your upper body. Releasing your hamstrings. My knees are bent and that's fine. Letting myself rest over my legs. Try to release the tension in your face. Thank your legs for doing the work. Will carry you on your run. Or preparing them to carry you. Good, now stepping this into a downward facing dog. So keeping the hips up, the feet come back. And we're gonna pedal into this and not keep it too static just yet. But to just see where you might need to put some extra focus. Is it in your calf muscles? Is it in your shoulders? Were you clenching your fists and scrunching your shoulders during your workout? Try to release that. And now coming back to center, lift up your heels, push your hips back, bend your knees, and then slowly start to straighten the legs as you press the heels. And we're working this as a calf stretch. Release your neck, keeping in line with spine. The energy, the focus here will be on pressing the heels towards the floor to get into the gastroc, into your calf muscles. Breathe here. About 30 seconds to go. Deep breath, always letting the breath guide you. For the last few seconds, I want you to bend the knees, just a little, kind of shifting the focus of the stretch. Straighten the knees again, press the heels down. Good, now lifting up the right leg. Lift it high, bend your knee. Try to open up through the hip flexor. Roll out your ankle. Lift, lift, lift. And we're gonna bring the foot forward and place it in between the thumbs, setting up for a lunge. Now here's where you might use that blanket. If your knees are sensitive, just kind of placing that underneath your knee. Checking in with the hips, squaring off everything. And then before we rise or lift the torso, I want you just to press into the top of your foot. Lift your knee. We're really going to get into the hip flexor, slightly different angle, and also stretch the top of your foot. A little bit of a neglected area. Good, set it back down. Then you can keep the toe tucked or untucked, doesn't matter. We're going to focus on hip flexor, pressing the hips forward towards the front knee. This might be enough. You might feel an intense stretch right through here. You can get a little more leaning towards your right leg. We'll be here 1 minute. That right hand could slide down toward the block or even touch the floor for some of you. If you're pretty open in your torso and your waist and your hips. And more seconds. Breathe. Keep your chest lifted. And then release. Bring your hands down. Step your feet back, knees to the ground. Come down onto your back, or to your belly, sorry. Bring your hands slightly in front. Take a little back bend. Cobra. And it's nice if you want to put your pelvis, your hips on that blanket as well. It's a nice padding. Good. And then release. Come back to your downward dog. Really press into those heels. You want to add some length into the back. So running is a lot of compression on the joints. So there's going to be some pounding when you're on those vertebrae a little bit closer together. So we're adding some traction, getting ourselves a little bit taller. And there's nothing wrong with a little compression. It can be good. And we know running is good for building bone mass, those weight-bearing exercises. Just make sure you're balancing yourself, giving your body an opportunity to recover. So bring up that left leg, open up your hip, lift the left knee up towards the ceiling. Use it to lengthen the right leg again. And circle that ankle. Nice, now draw that foot forward. Step it through. And then untuck your back toe. Push a little bit into the tops of the toes to stretch the foot. Also to lengthen the hip flexor. And then release. Coming up into your lunge. Drawing hips down. And forward again, toes in the back, might stay tucked or untucked. And you can add on with that side reach over to the left. And breathe. Chest is lifted, deep inhale, and exhale. Good, let it go. Hands come down, bring your knees together. Lower down onto the belly one more time. And then lift, bring the palms out, take a little cobra or a seal. Release the neck. Don't crank into your low back. Think about lifting the chest and the heart. And then release. Press into the palms. Come back to hands and knees. Again, you can use that knee pad or blanket. Look forward for a cow. Exhale, round your back. Look at your toes or your knees. And then find your neutral spine, soft elbows. Tuck your toes. Sit back. Stretch your poor aching feet. Put all the weight in as much as you can tolerate. Breathe into it. Try to get your pinky toes involved. And let it go. Shake out those ankles and toes. Now you're going to want to move towards a wall or towards a sturdy couch. And something soft for your knees. So taking your blanket or rolling up your mat, you can double up your mat. Taking one knee towards the corner of your wall. Now the closer to the wall, the more intense this will be. So start out maybe a little farther away and then move it closer and see how it goes. You'll see the back toes are pointed straight up. The opposite foot will come forward, 90 degree. And some people call this a King Arthur. And this is a lot for some of us, especially right after a run, or if you've run a lot of miles this week. We'll be here 1 minute. So after a few breaths, if you feel yourself loosening up, come up a little higher. Stack that ankle under your knee. Come up a little higher, maybe even pushing back. Some of you will go full on expression. Now right here, drawing the tailbone down is going to help lengthen the quad even more. So if you feel like nothing's happening, you're super open, really engage your glute and draw the tailbone down. And keep breathing. Almost there. And one more breath. Come on down. You can drop the toes to the inside. Bring your knees together. Shake out the leg you were stretching. Maybe tap out the quad. And if you have the time, I'd say repeat this on each side. Usually two times or 3 times is better than one. Switching sides, play with the placement of your knee. And you might already feel something here. If you want to go a little more, bring that opposite foot forward. Check in, draw a tailbone down. You could put your socks on too. Sometimes I know the wall can be a little uncomfortable for the foot, or the toes, or the ankle. So a little padding behind the toes is good too. Good, again, finding the place that's most beneficial for your leg, this side. Breathing in a few positions and then moving on. If you want to go a little deeper. Tailbone down. Engage through the glute. Maybe 15 more seconds. You got this. right, gently come down. Bring your toes to the inside, knees together, and shake out that leg. Maybe tap it out. All right, so if you want to refold your blanket or move it to the side, you can. I'm going to sit up right on the edge of mine, take the legs out wide. Sitting up nice and tall, kneecaps point straight up, toes point up. And then you can go into a forward fold, gently releasing the legs. Inhale, rising up. A chance to get into the IT bands. So, moving your blanket, you can continue to sit on it. And this might be a chance for a strap, if you like. Keeping the right leg down, we're going to grab the outer edge of the left foot and turn it into a twist. Now, if you want to grab your strap instead of your foot, make a loop and make that happen. So, draw that leg across your body as you look towards the back. Push through the heel. Deep breath. Higher you can go, the more you'll notice it. Draw the leg across, the more you'll feel it. If you want to bend the bottom knee, that's just more comfortable, you can try that. One more breath. Bring the leg back, slowly let it go. And shaking it out, opposite foot reaches up. Drawing that leg across the center. You can add a twist looking behind you. So you get that bonus of opening the back and the leg. More calf stretch for some of us. And bringing it back, let it go. Sitting up tall or sitting on your blanket, reach high. And another fold, exhale. And inhale, rising up. Rounding out your stretching here with a pigeon on either side. We're taking a figure 4 on your back as your modification. So here, in our traditional pigeon, bringing the right leg up, squaring off the hips. Another place you could take your blanket, slide it underneath that right hip or the hip of the knee that is bent. Whatever is appropriate for you. You're already in for 10 seconds here, about 50 more seconds before we switch sides. Try to surrender. And if you want to pause and stay a little bit longer, you know your hips need it, please do. Or you just want to repeat this section 1 minute on each and then 1 minute again. It sometimes helps to flex that bottom foot. Keep breathing. 15 more seconds. Never feels like enough. I know sometimes the run is all we have time for, and stretching is a bonus. So whatever you can do is great. All right, changing sides. Left foot can come forward. If this side's a little tighter, you want that support. Some lift under your caboose. Try to square up those hips, maybe flexing the bottom foot. If you're on your back, figure 4, flex your feet. If you feel good, coming down even lower. breathe out. And gently starting to come up. Lifting the chest a bit. Moving to one side. And bringing the back leg around. Bringing the feet together. Let's take just a quick butterfly pose. Long spine leaning into the legs. And then coming up. So thank you everyone. I hope this helps you prepare for a run or recover from your last run. And the more you do this, the more your body will thank you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.